This week, Biblical Shakers will continue with the study of 2nd Chronicles. Chapters 10 through 14 will be covered with a posted devotion for each chapter read. The rest of 2nd Chronicles will be about the kingdom of Judah. After King Solomon's death, the northern tribes revolt, and we read only a little more about them in the book. The remainder of the reading recounts the alternating periods of abandonment and reform in Judah. We begin in chapter 10 with Rehoboam, Solomon's son, as king. He followed bad advice and lost the chance to rule a peaceful, united kingdom because he rejected the advice of Solomon's older counselors, preferring the counsel of his peers. It is important to listen carefully to those who have more experience than we do. They can see the bigger picture. Rehoboam refused to lighten the load of the Israelites, led by Jeroboam. 10 of the tribes stayed with Jeroboam and called their nation Israel, the northern kingdom, while the other 2 tribes, Judah and Benjamin, remained loyal to David's line and accepted Rehoboam's rule. They called their nation Judah, the northern kingdom. In chapter 11, we find Rehoboam trying to reunite the countries. However, God supported this rebellion and division, even though it was going to create problems and cause hurts. It was God's way of saving Rehoboam's smaller kingdom, and in so doing, preserved David's line to keep intact his plan for the Messiah. Rehoboam was then directed to build up the towns for defense for Judah. Our reading continues and records that while Rehoboam made an attempt to follow God, Judah would prosper. But at his peak of popularity and power, he abandoned God. The result was destruction because God allowed Judah to be conquered by Egypt, which is recorded in the 12th chapter. Solomon's treasures became Egypt's rewards because the king turned away from God. Bronze replaced gold. When God is no longer central in our lives, maintaining the appearance of a Christian life becomes superficial. What does your life look like right now? War was written about in the 13th chapter. The army of Israel had strategy and great numbers, but it did not have God. They were cursed because of the golden calves that they carried with them. Judah had a new king, Abijah, after Rehoboam. Although outnumbered by Israel, God gave Judah the victory. Judah had an advantage. The temple, with its sacrifices and the loyal priests and prophets. The result was that true faith in God ran stronger and deeper in Judah than in Israel. But it was still not up to God's standards. Our week closes with chapter 14, when Asa followed Abijah as king of Judah and came very close to being good. He recognized his need to depend on God during the first 10 years of his reign. Obedience to God leads to peace with God and others. Are your actions dependent on the Lord? One thing I have learned by our reading this week is that we need to build up our defenses now before temptation strikes. Next week, we will be reading about more kings in another 5 chapters of 2nd Chronicles. Won't you join us? Because Biblical Shakers makes reading the Bible way more enjoyable for you. And I pray the Lord will put a hunger on your heart.